Hey, ladies! Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and happy 2025 making money. Tonight, I have a wonderful guest in the house with us, the one and only Notary World. She is going to be coming up to give us all the information about how we can make money as notaries. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to put the 90-second clock on, give people a chance to come in. And then the next person you're going to see is our very own Notary World. All right, ladies, here's the 90-second clock. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Hey, ladies. Hello, hello. Let me change this up a little bit, center myself on the screen here. I am here with the lovely, the one, the only, the notary herself, Notary World. Everybody give a hand clap, throw an exclamation point in the chat for us. If you're watching the replay, put an exclamation point in the comments as we welcome Notary World. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you, Sheree?
I am doing really, really well. I have a major announcement for the community. It'll be the end of next week when I'll be able to tell you all officially, but I've got some great news personally that I'm going to share with you ladies. So, but yeah, I'm doing well.
And congratulations on that, whatever that is. I know it's going to be great.
It is. It is. It's a super big thing. I've been working towards it. I'm going to talk about like what happened and all the stuff I tell you ladies to do. I'm actually doing them, even though
Hmm.
sometimes I don't feel like it. Like I tell you all, sometimes I go to networking events, I don't feel like it. Sometimes I'm doing things, the level up, I don't feel like it. And it paid off. Paid
Oh, that is so good
off.
to hear that. That's a blessing.
Yes. Yes. So it's like doing the same boring stuff over and over again, being in dark mode sometimes, but it works. It works. That
Yeah.
consistency works. I even think about you as well and how, and I'm sure you'll go over this, how you tell people to, you get your notary and then you go to the title companies and you just keep asking and asking. And next thing you know, you're
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
flooded with
Yeah. It's
overloaded
like
or flooded
it's
with
it's almost
opportunity.
just almost as if like, one contact can just change your whole life.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then when you have a community like it's a lot of notaries because I'm in LA, but I live like
Mhm.
I'm in like the Valley area.
Mhm.
and it's so much like competition, but
Mhm.
you can't focus on that,
No.
you know. You can't
No.
focus on it at all, and especially in this area. You got like Netflix, you got Walt Disney Studios, you got the Discovery Channel, you got all of these companies, and it just even Zeus Network
Mhm.
it's out here. You just go into their offices and leave your business card, and next thing you know, you're just their preferred notary.
Yes, yes. And you keep hearing these stories about how everybody's leaving California, they're going other places and things like that, but it seems like you are pretty much set to continuing to be in Los Angeles, huh?
Actually, because I'm originally from a Southern girl. I'm originally from North Carolina,
Oh, shout
so
out to the Southern
we
girls. I'm a Louisiana girl myself.
Louisiana, yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm an Aggie Pride,
Uh-huh.
so HBCU. So eventually, I'm going to move back to
Okay.
North
All
Carolina.
right. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Well, we've
yeah,
got Maine Femme Fatale in here saying bonjour. Bonjour
yeah,
to you. We've got Jay Antoinette saying hello. And we've got Innocently Weird. I don't think I've seen you before, but welcome. All right.
yeah.
Let's talk about this notary opportunity, the
Uh
money
huh.
that's available to be made. You came a few months ago, you blew it out of the water, and we know you're going to do it again. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a notary.
Well, the thing is that like my career mainly was in I can say like in the banking industry.
Hmm.
Like I used to work for like Bank of America. I used to work for Sun America. When AI, the whole AIG Sun America
Hmm.
situation, whatever. So I was kind of like I was in that world, and so once I became a mom, I had to sit down because I couldn't just throw my baby to the world like that to the wolves.
Right.
So I had to find something to do. I couldn't just, I needed to, sit down. So I came across, being a notary. Like one of my older lady friends, she was like, just get your real estate license, become a realtor, or whatever. And then I started looking into it. And then I saw something about a notary, and I thought, that's what old people did,
Hmm.
because it's like an old lady type of thing. And so I was like, okay, let me go get my notary license because that kind of intertwines with real estate.
Hmm. It does.
So once I got my notary license, and I had like it was like work life balance. You can go do a loan signing. Because loan signings was really booming,
Hmm.
and that's kind of like just how it happened. It was just that world, and then once you get into the notary world, you start experiencing other types of industries that you can be a part of. It's like one door open up the next door, the next door.
Right.
It just keep, and then the contacts you make from it, you just it just it's like a learning type of thing. Also, I would like to say, because as a notary, you start learning about estate planning.
Hmm.
You start learning about like I said, real estate. You start learning about like appraisals.
Hmm. Well, the
you,
entertainment industry where
you
you
know,
are as well, it sounds like.
yeah, your entertainment industry, because as a notary, you also can start when you because like the other day I had a client, in Beverly Hills. I had to go to his house. He's like the head of like one of those departments at Disney Studios.
Okay.
So they're going to start shooting projects in Italy.
Hmm.
So they need a notary for that to get those documents, what we call apostille.
Hmm.
So you get those documents apostille, and you can kind of charge whatever you want to charge, and people would pay that,
I've
pay the
heard
money
that
for that.
that's like where the big money is, right? The apostille services.
Yeah, the apostille services. Yeah,
Mhm,
because it's like people need to get their documents notarized, and they need to get them, like, it depends on the country also.
mhm,
If it's part of like the Hague Convention, and if it's not part of the Hague Convention, it's like a few steps you have to take, and you can charge a fee for that. You could charge fees for like translation services. You can charge fees for that because a lot of those documents need to be translated.
okay,
You can charge to ship the documents out to that country for them. That's an extra fee. And then like distance wise, how far you got to go to actually get the document notarized. So
mhm.
it's like a fee on top of a fee on top of a fee. And before you
Girl,
know
you
it, let's
like a
say,
doctor.
before
you
you.
charge for everything.
Right, because people are willing to pay for this stuff, and so
Hmm.
before you know it, it's like, let's say you have one document, you already charged somebody like $400 for one document, you
Yeah.
know.
So take a step back. So, how much money? We'll start with the good stuff that people want to
Uh-huh.
know. Like, how much money can people make if they're working part time? Let's say you have somebody who already works full time, but she's looking for something to do on the side. Um, what are the opportunities
Um,
economically for her?
it just all depends on if they're looking to do like a loan signing, or if they're doing general notary work, or just everything all together.
Give us some
It's all about,
examples. Yeah, give us some
like like
examples.
like let's say, for an example, like if you were to work an 8 to 5 job.
Hmm.
And for me, I have my business on Google. So
Hmm.
let's say somebody could be in the hospital and they
Hmm.
need someone to come in like 8 o'clock at night to do like a power of attorney or some kind of healthcare derivative of directives or something, right? You can go there, and a lot of times, those are like bad situations because these people are like really, really sick, and these families need to get this stuff done like ASAP. So let's say you need to do a trust or whatever, you can charge somebody like, depends on the signatures. I mean, you can charge them like $175. You can charge them 250. It just all depends. Like you could just have made like
Right.
$250 within 30 minutes.
Right. So you travel to the hospital, you get all the
Hmm.
signatures, you return and you get it to the trust attorney or whoever it is, and
No, you
that's a
leave the
two.
document. Most of the time, you leave the documents with them. You don't
You leave the
even take.
documents. Okay. All right. And then you can charge 250 for that service.
Yeah, and it depends on your
Potentially.
state. Yeah, you
Yes. I
can.
mean,
It
it
depends
depends
on
on your
your.
state.
Yeah, it depends on your state. Like in
So if
California.
somebody,
Mhm.
go ahead, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
I'm ready. Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, okay, so if somebody is looking to do this part time, let's say they want to do like 4 days a week, right?
Okay.
So they could potentially make $1,000 a week if we're looking at $250 per signing times 4 signings.
Right, like a loan signing possibly, but the
Hmm.
way the way the loan signings are nowadays is they're kind of like far in between,
Hmm.
and then that's why it's best to go direct to the title companies, but some people rely on like signing services.
Yeah, so you're jumping
So
around. So I want to take a step back.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
So we're talking about a person who works a 9 to 5,
okay,
right?
uh-huh,
And they're looking to do this part time. So there's the trust documents where somebody can make, let's say, a couple $100 per signing,
okay,
right?
uh-huh,
On average, right? Then you're saying that there are loan signings, right? So even though a lot of people don't do, and I happen to know about the loan signings because I'm in that world, I'm a loan
right,
officer. So we have now we use services, right? The title companies that we work with tend to use services, but there will be notaries that somebody wants to get a refinance. Happened this week with one of my clients. She and her husband refinanced their house. The notary says, "Where do you want to meet and what time?" They met at her house, or the couple's house, in the evening, and the notary got all of the documents signed and returned them to the title company, who then
mhm,
sends it to the lender. So I'm just trying to give people a breakdown in case they're not familiar with these things. So you mentioned trust, right? People getting
yeah,
stuff signed for trust. You mentioned loan signings. You mentioned earlier about the entertainment industry, people needing translation documents. So, is it fair to say that, the average notary signing could be anywhere from $100 to 250? Is that like a good range for people to think about?
yes, you can go as low as maybe 75, like 75 to like 250,
Okay.
and up. Hmm.
Okay, so if a person is they have a 9 to 5, they want to do this part-time, they're looking at having 4 signings per week at $75 per signing, that's $300 per week. right? I'm
Mhm.
just giving people the general math. So ladies, you could be making 300 additional dollars per week at a minimum if you do this right, all the way up to potentially $1,000 per week if I take $250 and I multiply it by 4 signings that you're doing. So anywhere from $300 to $1,000 per week could be made part-time with this. I just want to make
Right.
sure that everybody is clear and we're all following the math. And there's a lot of different, according to Notary World, there are a lot of different documents that need to be notarized.
Right.
So, Notary World, is this a dying industry? Like, or is this an industry where there's a lot of opportunity for people?
I would say it's a lot of opportunity. And a lot of people like to talk about. I know you talked about it too, like AI and all that stuff. Like AI really can't get rid of this industry. It can only enhance it. When I say enhance it, it's by like certain states now they do like I hope I'm not jumping the gun, but they have like remote online notarization
Okay.
where you can do it online, like virtually looking at someone that way.
I've seen
So
that. Yes.
yeah, so that's kind of like AI type of thing or whatever. And so in certain states they have that available. I know like in Cali it won't be available until 2030.
Mhm. So,
So
would
mhm,
AI take over for the person, or does AI just help the
it just
notary?
it just helped because you don't necessarily physically have to be with the person. It's more like
Right.
online. Yeah.
So I'll tell the story, and I told this the last time that you were here, that in my position, there are times when I have to like personally sign and have a notary actually approve my signature. And
Uh-huh.
one day, instead of going to the bank, I said, I wonder if this is something I could do online. Well, lo and behold, FedEx had their online notary services. I'm like, well, I trust FedEx, right? So I get on, ladies. I get on and, go through the process of proving who I am and all of that stuff. And the gentleman on the other side lived in Texas, the notary lived in Texas. I'm in Maryland. And I'm talking to him, I'm chatting him up. And I said to him, how much money do you make doing this? And he told me he makes $400 a day. And I
Mm,
was like, "And you don't leave your house?" Like, he's like, "No, he's in his office, in his house, making $400 a day." So there's a lot of opportunity. And to
mhm.
me, I was like, "Darn, maybe I should just do this Saturdays and Sundays." Because some of you ladies, you're not looking for something full time. You're looking for something part time to maybe pay off debt or go to school or something like that. This could be a great opportunity for some of you.
Yeah, it is like the more technology comes around and make things a little bit more easier, I guess.
Mhm.
Especially like when you're working from like home, it is it's like a totally different, like, how can I say this? It's a whole new way of just looking at the notary industry, because
Mhm.
at first you really had to be in person with that person, because
Mhm.
you don't really it's like this whole fraudulent type of stuff. But now that they've got real just knowing how to make the system work, it's opening up doors for people to really want to get in, and they can kind of like work from home in this industry,
Yeah, I
if
like
that makes
that.
sense.
I like that,
Yeah.
especially because we have a lot of young ladies here who want to be parents. You want to be
Yeah.
moms. I know when I was considering being a mother, I was like, I am not putting my kid in daycare. I have to have
No.
something that I can do from home, or like these daycares are crazy. But we also have to make enough money to support our
Yeah.
households and our families as well. And I really like this as an option. And I am a fan of get this started before you have kids. You ladies always know I'm saying, like, get your skills together and your networks before you have kids or before you need something like
Mhm.
this. Some of us honestly could start this just to have something, just in case the people in your job start acting a fool. I've
Right.
said multiple times, like, you need to be that chick that could pick up her purse and leave at
Mhm.
any time. And what I see, what you're talking about, notary world, and you can chime in here, is you can be that chick with this notary business on the side and know that, like, hey, if I need to ramp this thing up because these people in the corporate world are cutting up, I can do that.
Yeah, and also to piggyback on what you were talking about with the FedEx guy that
Mm-hmm.
does the notary, when he said that he makes $400 a day doing
Mm-hmm.
that, like from home, remote.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, let's say you do that 5 days a week, so what's 5 times 4?
20.
I'm sorry, what is it? Is it two
It's
thousand?
20. It's $2,000 a week.
Yeah, 2,000 a week, and then times that by four. That's
Mm-hmm.
like yeah,
8,000.
so yeah, like $8,000,
You can make
and
six figures.
that's like six figures, close enough to that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to look at the states that those like remote online notaries, like for an example, I think it's in Florida. I think Virginia also. I think Virginia has
It's
the remote
possible.
online.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you get plugged into like those agencies that do that type of stuff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all you're doing is just verifying people all day long, sitting in the
Yeah.
comfort of your home. And
Yeah.
and I know everybody like to big up the tech industry, the tech industry. Yeah, this is sort of like tech in a way, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
It is. It is. So you could go out if you choose to, and you could bring your kids if you need to with you,
Right.
or you can do it, uh, online and do it
Yeah.
virtually. And I like both. So Jay Antoinette is saying, LOL, I have no issues doing the old lady thing. Bring it on. I'm
Right.
with you, Jay Antoinette. Dawn Earth is saying good evening. Maine is saying I had to use a notary today for personal business and he charged $25. The others wanted 50 or 100. So I got lucky and he did it all over Zoom. It was super easy and surprising to me.
Yep.
And look, he did it on Zoom. He's like, whatever, I just made $25. That is a half a tank of gas,
Yep.
right? I mean,
Yep.
he does a couple of those a day. He's cool. So,
Yep.
especially if I don't have to go anywhere. Um,
And the
what did
thing,
Go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go
And I
ahead.
was gonna say the thing is that like just being a notary, and let's say you put your business on Google, because I'm on Google and I'm on Yelp and like
Hmm.
other platforms,
Hmm.
you will have like people reaching out to you to do other things outside of just notary stuff, like because they trust notaries. So you'll have someone contact you and say, hey, do you want to do like property inspections, where you go. I know you probably heard of that, like property
Yeah,
inspections
you
when
had
you.
mentioned that before. I was surprised about that.
Yeah, yeah, I get flooded with those, flooded, like
How much
Fannie
do people
Mae, Freddie
offer
Mac.
you? How much do people offer you to go into a property? And when you're saying property inspection, you don't mean like crawling around in the attic, right? You mean
No,
just
no,
go
no,
look,
not that. I'll
just go look at the property, right?
just go look at the property and like and take photos, and then
Hmm.
write in like general comments and things like that, what you see, if there's like deferred maintenance that needs to be addressed, what the property looks like on the outside, what kind of neighborhood the property is in, what's
Hmm.
the demographics, are the people corporate, are they students, just general questions like that. And so the range with things like that, and I'll say maybe between like 75 to like $150,
Hmm.
and all you're doing is just basically taking photos and just writing a report, which only takes like maybe 30 minutes top. So it's like you're working for 30 minutes, making like 75 to $150.
Yeah, I like that. As long as you don't have to travel too far, as long as it makes sense with regards to your gas,
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive electric, so I'm kind of blessed. I like driving electric.
Well, I'm looking at my coins these days.
Yeah,
So
because
go ahead.
I was gonna say, because gas in Cali is like $5 a gallon. So
Yeah, it's no joke. Yes, yes. So even the gas here has gone down to like $2.89 a gallon,
oh, that's
but
good.
I'm still like, okay, do I have to go here? If I don't have to go too far, I'm not trying to go too far. So
Yeah.
um, Jay Antoinette is asking, would it be best to start and operate under an LLC or have more of a freelance approach? What do you think about that?
For me, I'm LLC, for tax benefits, of course.
Hmm.
But if you don't want to actually incorporate it in a business sense, then that's okay. You just want to make sure that you report that.
Yeah, please
That's
report. Please report,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Maine said he filled it up, put his stamp, and verified it over a video Zoom. Oh, must have been filled it out. And all I had to do was print it off. Yeah. So I've done one of those too, where we had a property and we needed the tenant to sign something. And both the tenant and I were on Zoom with the notary, and we held up. So the notary knew who the tenant was. So it's a little bit easier there. But we held up our ID, just so she could do like the formal thing. And then we held up the document, and then we showed us signing it. And then, that was it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and look, you can make some good money. This is where I talk to you about skills and networks, right? Because if your network knows that you're the person to go to, you're like, hey, Cherie, I need you to hook me up really quickly with the Zoom thing. Cherie, could make an easy 25, 35, $50 with somebody on a Zoom for 10 minutes. Yeah, sign me up, right? So in that way, you can just have that extra money coming in. So I like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
and
also was
then,
gonna say, it's like things like this happens also. Let's say like you get a title company that send you to go do like a loan signing, right? And so it's kind of like that's their client. But
mhm,
once you get there, it's like they become your client because they'll just contact you directly to do all the other stuff they need to get done as a notary. So it's
yeah,
kind of like I don't want to say it's like a cutthroat business, but it's like once somebody utilizes you and they get to know you because they don't see the title company, they don't know who those people are.
mhm,
So it's like from that point on, they're only going to contact you directly, and then you get referrals, and people contact you and say, "Hey, my cousin Jenny called me, and she told me that I can use you as as a notary." And I'm like, okay, it's just, I mean, that's like the thing about this industry is that, like you were saying, your
mhm.
network, and just meeting people. It's like you just have to get out there and just let people know you're a notary. Like me myself, I wear shirts. I have t-shirt, collar shirts.
I like that.
Yeah.
Those are super easy to order too, ladies. I mean, you for $20, you can get shirts. I have a couple of polo shirts myself for our lending business. I will get those. Y'all know that I have my magnetic name tags as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
you could get your magnetic name tag that says, I don't know, Rihanna, for example, and then just say Notary Public, right? And you just walk around with that. You don't have to give them your entire name, just your first name, right? And
Yep.
and Notary Public, and people may stop you. You never
Yeah.
know.
No.
Or you're going to networking events and people know exactly who you are and what you do. Again,
Yep.
it is about building that network. You're
Yeah.
in
And then
business.
and like also like I was saying earlier is that like when you do meet someone, then sometimes they want you to do other things for them. They might ask you a
Mhm.
question like that was the reason why I decided to do bookkeeping. Like I've just actually just finished my bookkeeping class,
Good
and
for you.
I think you told me you was a bookkeeper also, right?
I do it part time. I have
You're
one client.
What's like okay, yeah. So like I'll meet like someone that says like, do you do accounting? And I'm like, I can. So
Mhm.
there was like they need a bookkeeper. So I was like, okay, you know what? It stayed in my mind. I was like, you know what? It's this class that I saw that's offered free
Mhm.
in LA. So I just took that online class with a teacher by the name of Miss Naomi. She was excellent. And
Mhm.
I just finished that class too. It's QuickBooks Online, and so I learned so much in that class that it was like, wow. So that's another skill set. Because remember we said that you have to pile up on them
Stack those
skills.
skills. So skill stacking, that's what it's all about. So are you going to
Yeah,
become a QuickBooks Pro advisor? Have you taken the
yeah,
test?
yeah. I just finished the QuickBooks online class yesterday. Like actually like
Okay.
last night. So she sent us the link to do the QuickBooks Pro
Yeah.
advisor. So
The
I'm gonna do
exam.
that also,
Yeah, I
just to
think you
have that
should do
under
the
my belt.
exam. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So Maine is saying here, oh, first of all, Shar, thank you so much for letting everybody know exclusive content, bwmakingmoney.com. Um, We're going to have another Things I Can't Say on YouTube session as well. My sister in law has to renew her notary license. Yeah, so how often do you have to renew your
You
license?
you know what? You know what? Surprisingly, I just did that today.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I went to the internet in Chatsworth to just I don't know. One second. Right,
Hmm.
hold on.
Yeah, ladies. So I know as a loan officer, I have to renew my licenses every year. I think that realtors are renewing once every 3 years. We'll let notary
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry
You're on
about that.
close enough.
Yeah, someone was at the door, like,
Okay.
somebody ringing the
All
doorbell.
right.
Sorry about that. But
That's
I
okay.
was gonna, yeah, because my commission is up in January,
Uh huh.
so I went ahead and I took the exam in October
Hmm.
to renew it, and so today I finally went to the NNA to get my documents to get them a certificate so I can get my
Okay.
stamp and everything for January.
Okay. Cool. So how often do you have to renew?
It's every 5 years.
Oh, that's a long time. I was telling everybody I have to renew every year. I have to take continuing education every year as a mortgage loan officer and get renewed every year. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it seemed like so this is my second time, like,
Hmm.
my first time doing renewal,
Hmm.
and it's like the exam from the first time was super different. It's like they challenge you each time,
Mm.
because you go in there thinking like, you know what, I'm gonna ace this,
Hmm.
but for some reason that exam I kind of struggled because I didn't know, like, the exam mainly focused on fees and regulations.
Oh,
I
wow.
never Yeah, I never really looked into that. I always knew to do the job, but
Hmm.
necessarily like fees and regulations.
I kind of feel like these regulators want to get people out of certain industries. Um, You can let me know what you think about that. They wanna get people out of certain
Sure.
industries, like, for our industry as a loan officer, and it's not just the regulators with this, but our industry lost, like, 40% of the
Of
licensed
the
originators. So, if they're making the classes harder and the tests harder,
uh
we always talking about ways that people can weed out Black people. Like, if you, um can't read for for literacy at a certain grade level and things like that. So just ladies, be aware of that as well. Jay Antoinette is saying they are very easy to get. I just ordered a batch of merch for my job and the process was very seamless. Yeah, getting merch. I'm a fan of having the shirts and the magnetic name tags and things like that. I tell you ladies to go out once a week and network. I do it myself. Getting a reward for that, which I'll tell all the ladies probably the end of next week what that is. I got a big announcement. However, yeah, like, you know, think about yourself as a corporation and what would a
Right.
corporation do? You're a
Mhm.
$1 million corporation walking around, whether you're doing notary or you're doing something else, you know?
Yeah.
So just think about what a $1 million corporation would do, what the things that you would have in place and actually do that.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's the thing, is like with any type of business, you
mhm,
know, whenever something like the cons of things, like something happens, like you have to take full responsibility for it.
mhm,
You know, I think that's
yeah,
like the downside, because sometimes you can just go get your manager, supervisor on the job to help. But
yeah,
it's like when you in control of your own destiny, it's like you have to be accountable, because
you do.
who else are you gonna say, hey, go talk to them? you
Yeah,
know
yeah, you
so you have
can.
to so you have to like learn from your mistakes, so that you don't continue to make those mistakes. So you just really want to make sure, especially like when you're dealing with people, and
Mhm,
you don't want to say the wrong thing. So I would say, like, you know like for me, like, I'm very talkative. I like to like make relationships with people.
mhm.
But then sometimes it's like, you have to read the room and like know a person's personality, and just kind of like not be as talkative, like just be really, 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 really professional.
Yes, and
Just
read the room, like you said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jay Antoinette is asking how many times are you able to take the exam and is there a limit?
It just depends on your state, actually.
Mm,
Honestly, it just depends on your state. Like, I know for us, it's like we can take it as many times
mhm.
as we like, or whatever. And you have to make at least a 70. I think that's
Okay,
what it is.
70%. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, 70%. And I would just say, for the most part, if you are interested in becoming a notary, just look at what your state guidelines are, because a lot of states,
Mhm.
all you have to do is just pay the money.
Which
Some
is, I mean,
states,
it's sweet if you're able to just do, pay the money.
yeah,
Yes. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
some states like California, it's always something with us. You have to actually take an exam.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
let's take a step back because the last time you and I talked, I was considering taking the class. And I ended up not doing it just because I said, you know what, I really just want to focus on my one lane, which is being a loan originator.
yeah,
But in my community college catalog, when we got it in August, September, I looked and there was a notary class. And I literally had that thing on my wall for like 8 weeks because I was like, maybe I should take this. And when I asked them like 2 weeks before the class was about to start, they were like, there's still seats open if you want to take it.
hmm,
So I could have for maybe 50, $75 gone in. It was one Saturday. It was like 4 hours,
uh
a
huh,
4 hour class, maybe 5 hour class. And then after that, I guess whatever you would have to do in the state of Maryland in order to get your notary license. But I was surprised at the fact that in the community college, the notary class was there. So tell us a little bit about some of the states that you have seen people work in, maybe Texas or Florida, Georgia, where a lot of our ladies are, with regards to some of the opportunities they have to actually get their stamp, get their notary certification.
um, what I've seen is because I have like three Instagram pages. So
Hmm.
one of my Instagram pages is just strictly just like notary and business type of stuff. So
Hmm.
I get I guess like fed all the notary algorithms and stuff.
Hmm.
So once I started doing that, it's this one girl I know. I'm gonna plug her. You guys can find her on YouTube and Instagram. Her name is Amber Geist or something like that. Like
Okay.
she built an entire empire like around this, and she was able to like buy a real nice house, like do everything that she wanted to do. And of course, Andre Hatchett.
Yes.
Yeah, Andre, I think he's in Georgia.
He's the
Um,
OG.
yeah, he's the OG, the originator.
Hmm.
Yeah, so your question was like in certain states, like how they make things go or something.
Yeah.
Like
So in a couple of states, and I'm going to put Amber's YouTube here because I did find her.
yeah,
So, and just give us an idea of a couple of states that are out there and what some of the education opportunities are. Like in the state of Maryland, my community college had the course for us to just go and take. Or,
uh-huh.
have you found that in other places? You know,
Oh, uh,
how easy is it in some of these other states? If you like, no specific states. How easy is it to actually get the education and get the notary
yeah,
certification?
like one of my aunt,
Hmm.
she retired and all that, and I told her to get her notary license, and she's in North Carolina, so she did the whole thing, went and paid the money, and took the exam, and she hasn't utilized it yet, and I'm like, Auntie, what are you waiting on? Like, just go ahead and use it. And so
Hmm.
she wants to do the same thing with the magnets and everything, but the education is there. And she also told me that she saw it also on one of the community colleges bulletins also.
Hmm.
So so they actually solicit this industry a lot. um you just got to be plugged in. Like when you get those little advertisements in the mail, don't throw them
Hmm.
away. Look at like the schools and stuff that are advertising all type of skills and trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
So, I think that you are ADOS FBA, I am. And you know who's paying attention to these things are the immigrants. The
yep,
immigrants will go through that community college catalog and see what they can take and go in there and take it. And then we're wondering why they are light years ahead of us. It's because they're taking the opportunities. And again, the great thing about the community college, when I was looking at that one class, it was like, I think it was $52 or something like that. Like
yeah,
that's no money, right? We waste that going to brunch with
right,
friends, right? And the fact that Shar said here, Illinois will be expensive, I don't even have to look. My question to you, Shar, and anybody else is what is the return on investment? If
Right.
we determine that on the low end, if you just go to 4 notarizations a week, so you're doing it part time, on the low end, you're making $75 per appointment, which means you're making $300 per week. Even if Illinois charges you $500 to be a notary, which I would be surprised. I don't know expensive what that is relative, right? But even if they charge you $500 for the year to be a notary and you were making $300 a week, that ROI, you can't beat that. You can't beat that with crypto. You can't beat that with, I don't know, give uh, high yield dividend stocks. You can't beat that with a savings account. So, what's the return on investment is what I would think about and what I would consider with regards to how expensive it is. And the truth is, Shar, I'm going to say this. This is a part of the things I can't say on YouTube, that I would have said behind Zoom. The more expensive it is, the better off it is for you because it means that a lot of people are not going to be getting into it. When stuff is cheap, a lot of people get into it. We kind of want the elusiveness. We want it to be a little quote unquote expensive as upwardly mobile people. So,
Yeah.
Shar is saying 50 true or false questions with an 85% passing score for $178 to $203. Girl, that's nothing. You could you could make that back in a week. You could make that back in 2 loan signings.
Yep.
So, eh, my thing is if people think it's expensive or it's too hard to get, that's the stuff you should be running to. If
Yeah.
it's
That's the
not
thing, cause
promoted, I'm going to say one more thing, and I did say this on the stuff I can't say on YouTube, but I'm going to say it here because there are only 11 people here. If it's promoted to a whole lot of Black people, I'm trying to tell you that those are the I would not run to industries that are promoted to a whole lot of Black people. I would run to industries and opportunities that we never hear about because that's where the real money is made.
and let me
Yeah.
say this, Sheree, also that I
Mhm.
wanted to point out too. But in the notary industry, especially like when you look at like the people that's kind of like, how can I say this, like kind of like running stuff or whatever,
Mhm.
it's a lot of black women. It's a lot.
Mhm.
Like
But
in
it's
the
very quiet. I mean, I believe that Andre Hatcher probably has to beg people to become a notary, Um,
uh-huh.
and like you said, the Amber woman, it's not sexy, and I don't
Yeah.
see it as something where people are bombarding the community with "Hey, become a notary." But
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it's like cuz when I talk about it, I'm talking about like how like the NNA is like the National Notary Association,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So when you look to, so I follow those pages, those
Mhm.
websites. Like the lady that just won the award as being like the what I'm saying, the notary or whatever, is a black
Mhm.
lady. So when you look at like someone by the name of because I found out about like loan signings through Mark Wills. You ever seen Mark Wills? He's
Mm-mm.
like the
I don't know
guy
who
that's
that is.
like he's the go-to for like loan signing and whatever.
Okay.
And
And I'm
when
gonna
you
show
he had
the
his
NNA up here while you're talking. Go ahead.
okay. So yeah, so
Go ahead.
he has his how can I say this? His thing every year in San Diego. It's like a conference or whatever. And when you look
Mhm.
at those photos, when he's in San Diego, all you see is black women. It's a lot
Yep.
of white women too, white men, but you see a lot of black women. So like black women, I would like to say that we're kind of tackling a lot of industries.
Mhm.
We are. We're
But
really
being
getting out
quiet
there.
about this. And being quiet about this one, Jay Antoinette is
Yeah.
expressing my sentiment. The quiet visibility Black women seem to have with this industry. Let's gatekeep
That's
it. LOL.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
you're
what.
gatekeeping being able to make $4,000 a week, sorry, $4,000 a month part-time, ladies.
Yeah.
You're gatekeeping that. And the fact that you have to have an 85% passing score. I know I just did my continuing education and had to take my classes for my loan officer, my loan certs. And you have to have a fourth to sixth grade reading level in order to pass those
Yeah.
things. So when we start talking about gatekeeping, yeah, there is, it's not sexy. So, I do think that moving quietly with regards to, this industry is gonna be an important thing for
Yeah.
us as well. So I do like that. And Shar is saying the return is excellent. Yeah, let's say you pay $300, to get your notary, and you can make low end, according to
Hmm.
Notary World, you can make $300 a week. I mean, that's no
Yeah.
brainer.
Yeah.
Those are
And
excellent,
and
excellent returns.
saying to because I'm very pro Black woman, right? Just like I know
Mhm,
you are. And
mhm.
so I remember I'm on the subject, but off the subject, I guess. But you remember your guy Kevin Samuels, right?
Yes, I
And
do.
so when he first kind of came out, he would talk about how like when he would go to like these mastermind groups or these groups or whatever, and all he would see is a sea of Black women.
Mhm.
And he would tell the Black men like, why aren't you guys in this room? It's so many Black women here doing these things,
I
like,
remember that.
you know, yeah. So I made it made it seem like he was kind of like kind of jealous, but anyway, that's a whole different topic. But it was really showcasing how Black women are really out here trying to find skills, trying to enhance their visibility, really trying to get to the Black women making money. That's what your
Mhm.
channel is about.
Yeah.
So you see all of this stuff, and we're kind of like moving in silence. We are.
And I think we should. And I think, of all the things that we have not gate kept, we have seen that we have not gate kept it, and all of a sudden you got a sea of people and we're pushed out. And this is an industry where we can move in silence, and we could make anywhere from 300 to $1,000 a week, take care of our children, support our communities, do the things that we need to do in order to be successful. And
Yeah.
I, so let's answer some of the questions here. Main Femme Fatale said, I'm learning so much. I've heard some places don't do notary unless you're registered with them. Citibank refused me because I wasn't a member of their bank. Why do they do that?
Mm. Yeah, because they only serve their customers, because they do free notaries at the banks. So if you are their customer, then they'll give it to you for free. Even if you can go to like UPS has notary services, but a lot of stuff they're not going to notarize. So
Hmm.
that's why like a traveling notary would be a lot beneficial to a lot of people because of the convenience and the amount of abilities that we can have to sign documents. Because a lot of you have like let's say like 100-page, 200-page loan signing. The UPS don't want to deal with that.
Right, right.
It's slowing them
It's true.
down.
Yeah, yeah. So it depends on femme fatale, if it's like you just had a one-off document that needed to be signed, or if it's a recurring thing. If it's a recurring thing, open up, a Citibank account with 100, 200
Right.
bucks in there. And that way you could be an account holder if you're going to be there over all the time wanting a notary. But other than that, so I had to get something notarized, and I was able to sweet talk one of our local small banks. Sometimes the big banks won't do it, but sometimes the smaller banks will. So you just have to ask them about that. Donna Earth is saying, aside from expanding my career, I'm thinking of learning how to be a notary and how to do claims. Well, I don't know anything about insurance claims, but I do. I might it Based on my announcement next week, we'll see. But I would like to have more people like Notary Worlds coming in to talk about different ways that ladies are able to make money, especially part time, because I see that that is like a big thing that we want to do. Having to make money part time, and then having the ability to change or to turn that part time business into a full time business. So if I can easily find somebody that could talk about insurance adjusting and claims and things like that, I will bring them on. But I'm going to have a busy 2025. And when I tell you all what's happening in my life next week, you'll understand why, you know, she's
Oh
going to
my
be
God,
locked down and focused.
I know we can't wait. I wish you can tell us now, but I know we don't have enough time. But
Well, it's not enough time. It's that this is a public platform and I
okay,
can't say it on a public platform yet. So,
okay.
but next week I will come and I will let you all know. Denise, you are never late, my dear. You are always on time. You're always on time. J. Antoinette, fourth to sixth grade, that's it. Yeah, but you know how many people cannot read at a fourth grade level, at a sixth grade level, for reading comprehension, Jay. Reading comprehension at a fourth grade level, at a sixth grade level, at an eighth grade level, or to have the patience. So I am getting extra certifications for extra states that I want to be licensed in. And a lot of those states require 2 to 4 hours each of studying, and you have to be reading all the documentation and then taking the quizzes and then taking the master test. A lot of people don't have the patience to do all of that in the loan officer world. The realtor world may be the same way. So this is why you see people wanting to do wholesaling and flipping. And the minute that states decide they don't want Black people to be doing it anymore, what do they say? Great. If you're going to wholesale, if you're going to fix and flip in this state, you've got to be licensed. All of a sudden, Black people run. Black people don't say, I got to be licensed. Bet I'm going to go and get licensed. No, we don't. We're like, well, I guess we have to do something else. Not the women on this channel, because I know
Yeah,
y'all are like upwardly mobile. I'm talking about the greater Black community. So,
and that's why I was gonna also not to impede on
mhm.
what you're saying.
Go ahead.
I also wanted to make the point that like online, you hear a lot of people say things like, don't go to college. College isn't necessary. Don't get your education. It's like, no, go get your education, but just be very, mindful of what you get your degree in,
Strategic.
because yeah, because a lot of times, even like certain industries, I can just tell, like in the next years or whatever, they're gonna require you to have a master's degree.
Mhm.
Like a bachelor's is okay, but you hear people say this rhetoric all the time online, and it's so annoying. And I'm like, who is listening to this? Like,
A
don't
lot of
listen to
people
this.
are listening to it. A lot of people are listening to it. Here's the thing. So you want to think about what your degree, getting your degree in,
Right,
where you're getting your degree. And while you're getting your degree, also think about the real life skills that you're going to have. Can you, if you went into an interview and they asked you to perform, can you perform? Because
right,
so many people come out of college and they go on interviews and they can't perform, and then they're wondering why they're not getting the jobs.
yeah.
So you've got to be able to perform at the interview. You got to be able to fit in the corporate culture. You've got to have the networks that you need. All of these things are important. But I recently did I was curious about this. I don't know why, but I recently did a search with regards to like in-state tuition at a lot of like local colleges in my area, in Virginia, in Maryland. And a lot of them were like ten to $12,000 a year,
It's pretty
which
cheap.
is not that bad. It is
Right,
cheap if you are getting an accounting degree, for
right,
example, or you're doing biology, or even if you're getting communications. My thing with communications, marketing, anything like that is your network, it better be tight when you get out of college. If you're doing anything like that. But if you can go and you like accounting and you want to do accounting, spend the $10,000 a year or get a part-time
Hmm.
business doing bookkeeping or being a notary or something like that, and you don't have to take out college loans, and you can go to school for 10 to 12 grand a year. You could probably even get some scholarships if you really looked around for them,
Yeah.
and you could make, coming out of college, 50, 60, 70, 80 grand. That's coming out of
Yeah.
college. That's not
Yeah.
saying, you monkey branch for 10 years. So, so yeah.
Yeah, it's the
But yeah.
within, even like within the accounting world, like I noticed, like, because we were talking about community colleges and
Mhm.
uh schools that offer free education, because Cali
Mhm.
is like notorious for that. They will give you
Mhm.
some free education in a minute. Like
Yeah.
they have like a free accounting classes where they teach you Excel.
Mhm.
They teach you basic accounting, learning credit debits and all that stuff, whatever.
Mhm.
So if you learn this stuff even like on a basic level, and you get your really know what you're talking about, you can land a job, because the accounting jobs are plentiful.
Not only that, the talent out there, I mean, it's hard to find good people. It's hard. If
Yeah.
you are able to strategize and problem solve and you have a network and you can articulate yourself and communicate, girl, you're gonna be at the top 10% because the
Yeah.
picking is slim out there. And when people see you and they see you're talented, they will find a place for you in their organization. Because they're
Yeah.
like, no, we need good people. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Denise is saying, I got sworn in last month and just did the electronic notary class last week. Go, Denise.
Congrats.
Go, Denise. Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Um,
Denise.
yes, that's my girl. She is really on it. Uh, Mackie Samuels is saying, yes, move in silence in order to keep the haters at bay. Yeah. Look, don't tell people your business. Don't do it. Don't do
No,
it.
please
Sing.
don't. Like, whenever you finish, that's when you let them know, because people will,
Mhm.
throw you off your pedestal. I promise you.
And you don't necessarily have to be like, I got my notary and I'm gonna make all this money and all of this. You could be like, girl, I just went and took this class. I got this notary thing, you know. If you have to let them know that you've done that, keep it like really cool and like this is like a no big thing, you know. Unless that person is upwardly mobile like you don't talk about how much money you're gonna be making because then your relatives are going to ask you for money. Like, we know you got it. You make an extra $500 a week. So, um, you're saying here for some reason I thought it'd be higher. You're talking about the fourth to sixth grade. Yeah, look, depending on uh the class that you're taking, the cert that you're getting. But yeah, that when I had to take the test itself to originally become a loan originator, I would say eighth grade reading comprehension skills. Yeah. But for the continuing education, I'd say sixth grade. So yeah. Um, and when I when I was taking a class, I think they said that 46% of people failed the loan originator exam. So, you know, it's not for everybody. It's not for
Yeah.
everybody. Um, you can't wait for my announcement. If we weren't on a public forum, if we were behind, the wall on Zoom, I would tell you now, but I don't want somebody accidentally or on purpose finding my announcement. So I got to wait until next week to tell you, ladies, but I will. Um, North Carolina is supposed to be a remote electronic notary state next spring or summer. That'll be good. You can make your money from home, girl. Uh, Mackie is saying, and some brothers will be out of sorts when the Goldman Sachs investment of $10 billion in Black women owned businesses comes to fruition and completely changes the business game in the Black community. That's true. So
I
it's
actually
already, go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say I actually applied for that grant also, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, I was able to get like a first round interview with them,
Oh,
but
great.
of course, they didn't choose me or whatever. But it was a great experience to
Yeah,
even for them
yeah.
to like acknowledge me or whatever. I felt gave me some cool points. I felt like, yeah,
Yes.
okay, I'm somebody. Yeah, Goldman Sachs contacted me, and we had to do a Zoom interview like
Congratulations.
this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Jay Antoinette is saying a bachelor's degree is the new high school diploma. That's true. That is true. Denise is saying, thank you. I did the classes at my local community college. Yes, I'm just trying to tell you, ladies, don't sleep on your community colleges. You know, I, years ago, when my husband had died, so I was like 31, 32 at that point.
I'm
And
sorry
I
about
was
that.
like, oh yeah, it's been a while now. But I was at a crossroads of what I wanted to do because I was in my early 30s. Like, what do I want to do? And I honestly thought about going back to community college to get my accounting associate's degree. No, no, no. Yeah, I would have gotten an accounting associate's degree. I had taken some accounting classes when I was in business school, but I didn't take enough in order to sit for the CPA. So I thought about it. Like I really did think about it. So I just want to say to you ladies, 2 years from now, you could have an accounting associate's degree and you can make good money with that. 2 years from now, a lot of these community college courses and degrees, 2 years and you're going to be 2 years older anyway, but you could walk away
Yeah,
if you're networking as well and you're working on your skills. You could walk away 2 to 3 years from now in a different tax bracket. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of us are sleeping on community college. So,
yeah. You know what?
yeah.
Speaking of this, I thought about something too that I met. Like a foreigner had told me. I think in the Philippines,
Mhm.
in order to be a notary there, you have to be a lawyer
Interesting.
in the Philippines. Yeah, like certain
Interesting.
countries, you have to be a lawyer to you have to go to law school to become a notary. Because as a
Interesting.
notary, you're sort of like a judge, like a mini judge, because
Mhm.
you have to
You
swear
said that
people
before.
in and all that stuff too.
Yeah, you had said that
Yeah,
before. That's interesting. Shar is saying 1 year of E&O insurance for $25,000 is usually the minimum to purchase. Oh, for
yeah.
being a notary? Okay.
Yep, you have to have insurance, E&O insurance. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I have E&O insurance, so definitely. How much more money you will make as a notary if you know how to speak two languages or learn the language for the people who mostly need a notary? Let's say somebody knows Spanish. Can they make more money?
Yeah, because that opened up your whole, network. Because I get people contact me and they're like, "You speak a Spanish?" And I'm always like a C or C. I don't know, poquito. you know?
Poquito, look, enough. So you could bring out Google Translator or something like that. Yes, in order
Yeah,
to
I'm
make that
always
work.
yeah like I get a lot of those, and then a lot of Russians because out here we have such a melting pot of people. So
Hmm.
you get people that want you to do like especially when it comes to the apostille part of the
Yes,
business, because you're gonna get a lot of foreigners because they're the ones that need their documents sent to another country. So
yes, yes.
so when you answer the phone a lot of times they'll say, "Do you speak Russian? You know somebody speak Russian?" And it's
Girl, try to figure out the Google Translator and all of that. But yes, these apostille
yeah,
services, I heard that that's where the really, really big money is, in these
that
international documents
and also fingerprinting also.
and fingerprinting. Okay, all right. Shara is saying we're gonna make it happen with Google, girl. Look, if one of you figures out the Google Translate thing, when the next time the Russian person calls, you just click the button, and all of a sudden, because with AI these days, you are able to put like scripts and things like that
Yeah,
into the AI, and it reads it off with perfect sentence structure in these different languages. So I would encourage you, don't stop your money, Femme Fatale. Like, figure out the way to use the artificial intelligence, because that's what our counterparts are going to be doing. They're going to use this artificial intelligence to translate, and they're going to keep it moving. You know, dinero, money.
yeah.
um, so Denise is saying a Hispanic woman was in my class. She barely spoke English. She said she was starting a business. She's going to get her money. That Hispanic woman is going to get her coins. So,
And
yeah.
also, and just also imagine with all of this immigration talk that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these people that are, from these foreign countries, they're gonna need the documents to get apostilled,
Mm-hmm.
notarized, and even like fingerprinting is really, really big, especially like with the ink cards, not necessarily live scan the digital machines, but
Mm-hmm.
they have to get their fingerprints, the wet ink, to send to their countries and stuff because of certain things.
Yeah.
So, this whole talk with Donald Trump and everything, like every time you hear a politician talk, listen to what they're saying and figure out what's the niche in this business. Like, what's a business
Mm-hmm.
idea that can get created
Yeah.
whenever they're discussing certain policies and issues.
Yeah. Everybody here, everybody who's listening to this could be making anywhere from $400 to $1,000 a week part time. Part time. So you still go to your 9 to 5, you still got your health benefits, your 401k, and all of that. And you could be making $400 to $1,000 a week part time being a notary, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost a lot of money. In most places, it looks like it's costing about $150 to $300 for you to get it, you know. And I think you said the for most places, the notary um, certification lasts 3 to 5 years, right? You said five
Yeah.
years in
Yeah, I know.
California.
Yeah, I know California's 5 years, and I
Hmm.
just literally just went to the NNA office today, and I had to rush to get back home to do this interview with you. I was just like,
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to be here.
yeah,
Femme Fatale is saying community college here in Massachusetts is free, but you have to prove you have never,
I've
I guess,
been to college.
gone to college before, and you must be over 25. Even if you have gone to college, community college in Massachusetts, I'm sure, is still cheap. Like, like I, for example, could have a and do have a degree, and I could still go to community college and maybe pay a couple $100 a credit to be in that class. So, yeah. Um, can you do the apostille if you do not speak the language? Notary.
Yeah, of course. You don't need to speak the language to do aposties.
Hmm. Perfect. Mackie is saying, according to the McKinsey report, Blacks and the Future of Work, Black women will fare better than Black men in the digital economy because of their focus on healthcare, education, administration, and literacy careers. Yeah, I would agree with that. Especially, so I was telling Notary World before we came up that I was listening to the Dr. Umar thing where he was talking about the professional Black woman, because there seems to be a real attack on professional Black women dating. I did a video for it. I recorded it. I'm gonna release it, but it's basically unskilled labor, right? And if a person, man or woman, black, white, indifferent, if they are unskilled labor, they're going to get crushed between AI and robotics. They're going to get crushed. So the reason that black women are going to do better than black men is not necessarily because
And,
um, people are like us more or less scared of us or anything like that. It's because we are skilled labor. The reason that you're going to do better is if you are skilled labor. Having these notary certifications and knowing how to get business, that is a skill. That is a skill. Just like me being a loan officer or Victoria being a credit coach, or anything else that we're doing, these are all females. So, what's your
Yeah, and I
thought
think
about this?
I think also with black women, I can speak for myself, and I'm quite sure you also, Sheree, is
Hmm.
that we're good at researching things,
That's true.
and we're
Hmm.
research and we nosy too. We want to see what's going on in the market. We want to see what's like, how can you make $10,000 a month? Like,
Hmm.
what is the new thing or whatever. Even though you see, like I see it on YouTube a lot. You got, tech is a new black. You got the black guy on there that's trying to
Hmm.
get people to do tech,
Hmm.
but it's still such a small window of black men that are interested in the tech industry.
Because
Because
it's
I don't.
boring. Because
Yeah,
it's
it's boring. They
boring.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to learn math, and it's like they don't really want to do that type of job.
Mhm.
So you have to be really, I guess, like nerdy and geeky to want to get into tech.
Right. Not only getting the tech, but getting to anything that's worthwhile.
Yeah,
Whether it's what you're doing or what I'm doing, when we talk about the return on investment, you could spend $300 and make 40,000 a year part time. That's a hell of a return on investment, but you have to be willing to do the boring stuff in order to get there. And I think that
that's
a lot of not just black men, but there are black women too, um, don't want to do the boring stuff, don't want to go into dark mode, don't want to or have the ability to focus long enough in order to make it happen, you know,
yeah.
because
The
it's
thing, but
not
the
for
thing
lack of
about black,
opportunity.
yeah, the thing about black women is that we're so heavily invested in the healthcare industry. Like
Hmm.
I see a lot of that, and that's a pretty good industry to get into.
Yeah.
So I don't, like black women, we're not like a, I guess, a monolithic group, I guess,
Mm-mm.
because we go into so many things. That's why I think on the internet you hear like all these different narratives of, it's always about black women this, black women, black women.
Hmm.
And it's like, I think it's becoming because of the fact of like black women, in my opinion, I mean, we can disagree, I don't know, but black women are really excelling out there. Like I
Yeah,
I, I see it.
a lot of us are. A lot of us are,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all so you all know I'm not a bash black men channel. I just don't want to live in that kind of energy. But definitely black women are doing big things. However, I can see us doing more. I still wonder why. Now, I think we're underreporting on our taxes, is what's really happening
yeah,
here. But, when we look at the stats to see so many Black women still, according to the median figures, making what, 44, $46,000 a year. My question is, why isn't that number higher? Now, like I said, I personally think that they're getting these numbers from taxes and we're underreporting on taxes. I happen to know somebody who gets money from room rentals in their home and is not reporting it. IRS, don't come after me to come after that person. But, I so
allegedly, allegedly.
allegedly, allegedly. Yes. But that's the only thing I could think of, is that there's, underground economies as well.
and
However,
also
I,
and also
I do
and
see
also
black women doing big things.
Sherelle was gonna say, like, I think our numbers would be a lot higher if our marriage rates was higher.
That's true.
Because when you look at Yeah, because when you look at like Indian Americans, it's always like they're at the top at like 120, 130,000. Because Indian women are doing great things and their men are doing great things. So it's combined, with the taxes and stuff. So
Let's
if
it
I
can I just I'm gonna make a statement with regards to this. Again, going back to that Dr. Umar thing that I watched, where he was saying, hey, you're already the professional Black woman. You're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're, whatever it is, you're making big money. Invest $700 a month for 24 months into this Black man, and you can lift him up to be on par with you. One thing within the Indian culture, which it can be a good thing or a bad thing, um, depending on the day of the week, is that they have a culture of, you're going to become skilled labor. whether you're skilled labor in tech or skilled labor in engineering or skilled labor in entrepreneurship or something like that. They have the culture of that. So even the Indian women who may be marrying a man lower on the economic totem pole, that guy still tends to be, for the most part, skilled labor, which then explains why they have $120,000 household. But if you have two
Yeah.
people who are unskilled labor, a black man and a black woman, each of them making 35,000 a year, that's not $120,000 household. It's not.
Mhm.
So to me, that's the difference. That's the difference. Um, I'm going to. Oh, Denise is saying here, don't be snitching. Yes, y'all know snitches end up with stitches, so I guess I better keep my mouth shut. Um, Denise is saying I spent about $300 for both classes, the book and the application fee. Girl, you can make that back in a couple of signings. Donna Earth is saying I have a weekend job doing data entry of immigrant papers at a local company. There has to be a lot of side gigs in immigration because the amount of people coming in is huge. There is. Now, y'all know why I voted for Trump, because as long as people are legal, I'm okay with it. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot happening, hopefully, with regard to the illegal immigration in the country. Um, Shar wants to reach out to you with additional questions. Why don't you tell people about your book? Because I know you have a book, and that could be a great way for people to reach out to you as well.
Yeah, you can you can drop the link if you can. I send it to you.
Oh, you
But
did. Okay.
my book, yeah, it just basically just shows you like different industries you can get into as a notary. Um
Mm-hmm.
People in those industries, it's good to be a notary, but in the same sense you don't have to be a notary to do some of these things. Like for an example, to be an apostille, you don't have to be a notary to become an apostille agent. It's just helpful to just do it, because in
You don't have
essence
to be a
all of
notary to do apostille services.
you don't have to be a notary,
Wow. How do you
because you
how do
can
you get into it then?
like you can like use somebody else's services to notarize the documents, and
Uh-huh.
all you're really doing is just taking the documents to the Secretary of State, making sure they go into
Mm,
the Secretary of State to get them authenticated. That's all you're doing.
interesting.
It's more like an apostille is more like a courier.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting.
yeah,
So yes, this is Notary World's book, and this will also be in the comment section once this video is finished this evening, so you all can get it there as well. So definitely support Notary World. Get your questions answered. Make your money, ladies. Make your money. 2025 is going to be an opportunity for all of us to make big money.
yeah. And you can
Mackie,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't have a lot of followers, but you can always go to my Instagram, which is Notary World. You can DM me on there. You can do that, or you know, that's a good way to get in contact with me. Or you can always email me. It's I can send Sheree my email address. You have my
Okay.
email, don't you,
Is
Sheree?
it the one that, yeah, is it the one that you email me with?
Yeah, to make file at Notary World. That
Okay.
one.
Yeah. All right. So I will put this in here for you ladies as well. So Notary World's email, and y'all make sure that you support her financially, please. If she's given you information and advice, make sure you are supporting her financially. Buy her book, set, give her money for a consultation, 30 minutes, right? So we're going to support each other. And Notary World, I'm sure will like pull out all the stops, tell you the things that you need to do and know so that you can make this money. And yeah, I think that notary is a great return on investment. Where else you
Yeah,
going to go to put $300 into getting, your business up and running And even if we say $500, including some networking events and marketing and donuts for title companies and things like that,
Yeah.
and you could be making $1,000 a week. You know that that is a kind of return on investment that I'm interested in, and you don't have to worry about running behind some scammers over at, like, I'm not going to say any names. You don't have to worry about running after these scammers, telling you, all sorts of things. They can get you all of this money from flipping houses and, getting you all this business credit and all of that stuff. This is a great
Yeah.
return on investment. So,
Yeah. This
Mackie
is.
is saying, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry. I was gonna say this is not a scam business by no means, because anything that you do, you have to make sure that you do it in an ethical manner,
Hmm.
because there's organizations out there that'll send you to jail for doing fraudulent stuff.
Yeah. And I can personally vouch for notaries because I have worked with several of them that were on Zoom, or that had to go to my clients' houses in order to get them to sign for refinances and things like that. So definitely. Mackie is saying if you're an insurance agent with large companies like Allstate, they provide language translation services for their clients. Many Spanish speaking agents use those services.
Yeah.
So, um,
And also
Mackie's
a
also
tidbit.
saying, well, I'm going to read through a couple of these as well. Mackie's saying, yes, Black women are excelling. Over 60% of Black MD, DDS, and JD students are Black women. Over 90% of Black nurses are Black women. Over 90% of Black teachers are Black women. Black women are achieving in education and increasing their income. I can definitely agree with that. Um, Fun Size is here. I don't think I've seen you before. Saying that sounds like a great side hustle. I've been trying to find a data entry side hustle. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do out here. Um, Femme Fatale is going to purchase your book. Thank you so much.
Thank
Kelly is
you.
saying that was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for your insight and time. J. Antoinette is saying. Um, Denise is going to buy the book as well. Shar is going to support you. And Jay said she bought the book and will make time to read it. Read and implement, ladies. Read and implement. So, and you got another book sale here too. Shar said, bought the book and messaged you. Thank you
Thank
to
you.
Notary World. What else were you going to say, Notary World?
So what did you say? But my brain just kind of, I go real fast in my
Oh, I
head.
think we were talking about the 60% of Black MDs, DDS, and JD students are Black women. Over 90% of Black nurses are Black women. Over 90% of Black teachers are Black women. Black women are achieving in education and increasing their income.
Yeah, yeah. That wasn't what it was, but yeah, but just to go along with that, like I was saying, I see that
Oh, was
all
it
the
this one
time, and
about the
it was
Allstate
oh yeah,
translation
yeah, the
services?
translation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, and I was gonna say also a cheat code when it comes to like the translation services is that you can like outsource it to a company and upcharge it to your client. you
Mm-hmm.
know like
Yeah.
for an example, someone wanted their documents translated into Russian, and so what I did was that, because I can't translate, so
Mm-hmm.
I had another company do it for me for like maybe $300, and I
Mm-hmm.
charged my client like 500.
Okay. Made you another $200 on the side. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
because
it.
the the thing is that people are going to pay for what they want, and like don't underestimate these people, girl. People out here have money,
They have money. Girl, do they have money? And if they don't
especially.
have it, they can get their hands on it.
Yeah, especially like when it comes to them wanting to stay in America, stay in this country,
Mhm.
they're willing to pay whatever to get like their immigration processing taken care of.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the truth. It is the truth. So, but you know why they want to stay in America is because America has money. America,
Right.
they can make more money
And
here than any place else on earth. So if
And
they can do it, we can do it. If they can
and
do
the
it, we
thing
can do
is,
it.
I would like to say this too, not to put no other country down, but I wouldn't want to live in no other country but America.
I
Like I can
wouldn't
go
want
and
to.
visit your country, but I do not want to live there because I don't know what your hospitals are like. I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't ever want to get caught up over in some foreign country with the medical stuff over there. I could not do it.
Yeah, there's medical, there's political, there's just even
Yeah.
just the laws themselves. I
Right.
featured last week an article about an 18-year-old that had sex in Dubai and is now in jail for a year. Consensual sex, right? And in jail for a year, 18-year-old British, it was a young man, um, and it was in Black Enterprise. So you go to Dubai, you think, oh, it's a lap of luxury. You got the real housewives of Dubai and all of this stuff. You get caught up in these people's laws and see what happens. So, yeah.
And that's so sad.
Yeah, it is sad. But this is where you have to know what you're doing. And I tell people to think, when we say play chess, not checkers, this is what we're talking about, right? It's
Hmm.
on the bad side as well as the good side. But yeah, people are fighting to stay in America because America is truly the land of opportunity. I
Yeah.
believe in notary world and what the notary industry has to offer. I want to see more of you ladies get into it. You know, my thing is pick a side hustle, like pick something that you're going to do and be head down, focus, dark mode to getting it done for, I would say, at least a year. A year of, I'm going to take the classes, I'm going to fill out the paperwork, then I'm going to market myself like crazy, get the network I need, get it up and running for at least a year. The other thing is there's a lot of ways for you to make money. If you try to do too much, then you end up doing nothing well. And one of the reasons that my big announcement is happening next week is because I said, no, I'm going to focus on one thing right now, and it's doing this one thing and doing it really, really well. And it's going to pay off for me in major dividends in 2025 and beyond. So, right now, and I do want to say this, if you are not excelling at your primary job right now, and it's like the job and the industry you want to be in, and you could get to the top 10% of skill sets with that primary job, it's okay to say, you know what, I know this notary thing is available to me, but let me just take the next 12 months and really hunker in on sharpening my skills in my primary job. That's okay. Because Notary and I, as long as Notary wants to come back, as long as she's gonna pull up with the little old Cherie, then she's gonna be back. Every 2 to 3 months, we're gonna bring Notary World back to talk about being a notary again and again. But whatever it is, like if you're gonna do it, be top 10%. Be on your game
Yeah.
with these things. So final word before we head out of here.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you, Sheree, for bringing me back again. I really
Yes.
appreciate you. And to your listeners, if you decide that you want to get into the notary world business, and you need like a mentor or someone to help you out, you can always contact me. And I can kind of guide you through the process, and we can do it together as far as like what your state requires, because a lot of times, every state is totally different. And in certain states, the fees, you might feel as though like, oh, I can't make any money because it's just a little bit of money. No, yes, you can. It's ways around everything. So don't never get
Mhm.
discouraged.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right, ladies. Well, you have access to Notary World's book, to her email. Definitely use those resources, and we'll see you on the next video. I'm going to talk more about money making ability. All right, ladies. Good
Bye.
night.